puppy?
Yep.
Let me see
Immediately,
if
right out the gate.
it's streaming. I'm not sure if it, like, I don't see it on the Twitter. I don't see it on the Facebook either. See, I don't fucking know. Everyone, be patient with me as I figure out life. This is hashtag Team No Delusion. It says it's streaming. Let me see. Let me see if I can see it from my phone. Oh, yes, we're live. Okay. Hey.
Nice. Very good.
Everyone, welcome to a new episode of Rich and Hydrated. This is your favorite opinionated legendary Amerislav. And here with me, we have a fucking baller guest. We have X9, like infamous, famous, artsy fartsy with a mission, very present. Everyone knows you.
Pretty well. Not really. I'm
Tell
not that
me,
famous.
who are
I'm
you? What
not
do you
special.
do? Yeah.
I'm X9. I live on a homestead. I print stupid T-shirts. We sell them. They're American made all together. That's what we pretty much do. I try to homestead, I guess I'd say. I live in nature.
So what does your homestead look like? Or like, okay, so how big is it? What animals do you have?
80 acres. This is only my first year on here, so all we have is the shed that I obviously lived in while I built the pole barn house. Um, so we're living in the pole barn, half the pole barn right now. That's going to be end up being the full like shop for the business eventually. But and then we've got just chickens right now. Chickens and started a little garden, but the next thing will be goats. So
And dogs.
got lots of dogs. Yeah. You'll obviously hear them. I'll probably have to let them out more than likely. Who knows?
Yes. For everyone new to the, because I haven't streamed on Twitter yet before, this is hashtag Team No Delusion. We don't do the polished stuff here. If I have 5 dogs right here with me right now. If the puppy starts bothering them, I will yell at them. Like we're not doing the like it has to look perfect because this is real life and Hollywood is getting boring right now. So what is you're building it right now? How long have you been on there?
We moved into the pole barn in October and November last year.
Oh, so super fresh.
Yeah. We were living off grid for 6 months, roughly, close to maybe maybe a little bit less or whatever. That was like no water, no power, obviously. And then we built the pole barn. Well, I mean, Gabe came and helped. I had people help. Squid helped. Several people helped. And then built that. Moved into that. Much nicer. And now the other day I just had a guy out, local guy, cut me a road in to where I'm going to build the house eventually. So that'll be the next mission.
And it's you and your
Wife. Yeah.
wife, yeah? Okay. No
Yeah.
kids?
No kids.
No kids. What age range are you?
I think I'm 37.
Yeah. After 32, we all forget. We're like,
I don't know. That sounds right. I always tell the wife I'm just turned 18. So
absolutely. Absolutely. So you are part of a wait, I have to first tell you about how I learned about y'all. So I'm on the Twitters because of the husband. Husband is like he's my Ameri Viking, like a huge Viking, pro Second Amendment, freedom, like liberty, like all the things, right? So I've
Yep.
been I had my account, but I never was active. So I got on this corner of the Twitter, and I see like these amazing footages and fucking funny videos of you and like shirts with like excellent phrases like give violence a chance. And I'm like, oh my God, these are the coolest people. I'll never be as cool as them, but I just want to be in their orbit.
Yeah.
And y'all made a whole like goober movement.
That was kind of like a really random thing. That was a single picture that I was printing a shirt and it looked like I was wearing no pants. So everybody started calling it out in the shadow. And I was like, and then I think Agave made the little cartoon And then I added to the cartoon. I put boots on the cartoon. Then he changed the head. Then finally it just started just growing. Then you got Johnny memeing, senators with it. I mean, it just went from there. And then I think when we traced it back, it went to like one of my first. I did like a YouTube channel for a while where I was shooting guns, and in one of those videos, I commonly called myself like a goober. And I just like, I don't know, it's just like a phrase I just call myself like just retard, whatever, right? And so I called myself a goober, and I was like, so that's kind of like where I guess commonly said. Then I guess somehow that turned into the goober or whatever, and then it really kind of just went from there. I mean, people have taken it. I think I've got one right. Yeah.
Oh
3D
my
printed
god.
Somebody. Achilles sent
Yes.
that to me.
Oh my god. No, it got its own life now. Like,
Yeah. I don't even really do anything. Like if there people have their own. I mean, I'm obviously in the community, but like people have just they've ran with it. So I just let them do whatever. It is what it is. It's a good community for them to be able to make fun of shit or whatever. So.
but it's so funny because like every time I see the little goober, like I have to laugh with his tiny little cute balls.
Yeah.
And like he just seems so happy.
Yeah. I guess that's the point behind it is like I was very good at like Agave when he first came online, he literally came on to make fun of me, and whenever I laughed at what he was doing and I like retweeted and made the video worse, he was like, "Who is this guy? Like, why is he like? Yeah, I'm trying to make fun of him, like, And it doesn't work on me because I literally don't care. Like, I can make fun of myself better than most people can. So like, it just went from there, and then I think I've done. It, also, I trip a lot, so that was the other thing I got made fun of a lot for because I was in multiple videos of just falling down. It's very
Oh
common.
my god. Yeah, and
Even in
then
my, even in my like Mike Lee video I just did, I fell down in that video.
last time like when there was snow, you scooted down the driveway, right?
Yeah,
Or
I fell down the drop. Yeah. And then he photoshopped me going into Jaws' mouth.
honestly, this is what the internet was created for, and this is why we became adults, so we
Yeah,
could do shit
yeah.
like this.
Stupid shit
Oh my
all the
god, so
time.
funny. So and then was American Lictor y'all brand created after you came online or prior?
Prior,
Okay.
I was banned from Twitter for several years.
What did you
Um,
do?
oh my god, I can't remember. I had like 3 or 4 other accounts. I don't know. They all got. I couldn't get any of them back. Those got banned. I think it was during COVID because that was whenever I was like becoming like much more radical. So I was pretty much just probably getting online and telling people to go fuck themselves every day or something. I don't know what I was doing, but had we decided. I can't remember what it was. He just one day said, "Hey, would you like to start?" I think he went to Europe. Got really upset when he was at Europe. Came back and said something to me. He's like, one day we were just playing video game. He was like, "Start a business." I was like, "All right, fuck you. What do you want to do?" And he was like, "Let's make an American-made business, and can we do it? And let's just do something that people commonly outsource. Let's do shirts or whatever." I was like, "Well, I can print a shirt. There's nothing I have never been able to learn." I was like, "Just give me the equipment and I'll figure it out." And so, never having done anything like that, printed a shirt or whatever before in my life, I say that I did in high school at one point. I was like a art nerd down in the art classes doing all the weird shit, so stained glass and all that shit. So I learned kind of a little bit of everything there, but then I just started slapping ink on screens.
What stands out like as an outsider is that for one, like the amount of times where I hear people like, "Oh, I'm going to start making shirts," right?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
they like think
super
it's some
common.
kind of right, it's some kind
Yeah,
of like gold mine or something. I'm like,
yeah, it's not.
no, it's not. And
No.
but y'all really made it into a movement.
Yeah, that was so. The goal was, I guess, advocating for American made because our goal was like, okay, how much can you do? How much can you uh, can you buy the equipment in America? Can you buy the packaging? Can you buy the ink? I mean, our first inks, literally, I have the ink over there on the shelf somewhere. It says manufactured in USA. We called them and they said, well, actually, it's made in Italy. It's bottled in the US. I'm like, so when we have a supplier, we call them and we go, where do you all get your stuff? Where is it? Is it really made in the USA? And we will actually go back and contact suppliers later on to just verify that they haven't changed anything. So then we went from that to kind of going, okay, well, we can do this. So who out in the Twitterverse or wherever is puppies barking?
My puppy is like, what's going on with there?
Who needs help? Does anybody need help? So then we started offering free help. If somebody's looking for a thing to be made in America, we try and help source that thing for them. So
it's the funniest thing is because I wear a lot of y'all shirts, and the violence one. Like I used to always say, violence is an answer. Like before I even knew of the Twitter world.
Yeah.
And I have like a very, I would say like a vanilla Facebook and Instagram following. Like they know about all my history and lifestyles, but Second Amendment stuff is like it's very hard to talk about that. So now that I'm wearing that shirt all the time, they're like, violence, yes. I'm like, this is where you have to go. American liquor, this is where you find it. But the main question is when you finally gonna get me some pink stuff.
Our pink right here.
See, we need more pink for the girls and the fat.
We're not very good at marketing to women for some reason. It's like there's 3 dudes running this company or something.
No. You don't need to market to women because we are all like the wife and the girlfriend of, and we're all looking up like at y'all cool people, and we're just like, we want to be a part of it. Like that's
so
why
just
we
take
need
just take the image and just put it in pink. Just slap it in ink. Same shirt, just put it in ink.
You told me you had some ghost stories.
I've been haunted maybe before, possibly in Guam.
In the city or in nature?
Guam.
Do you want to get the puppy, by the way?
I can let him out. I mean, he's just gonna.
If you want.
I'll do that real quick.
Is the puppy gonna come? Everyone, hold on. X9 is getting.
Oh my gosh! Now that one's gonna bark.
Hi, little puppy. Oh, hello, little fluffy girl. Oh my God.
This is Doc.
He's like, hello, daddy. Hello. How old is he?
I don't know. I can't remember when we got him.
Oh my God. Oh my God. He's still a puppy. Okay, Sister Goob is telling me to ask you about the flying bread.
That's my sister, but I don't know what she's talking about. Flying bread.
You don't know what she's talking about?
Flying bread, I don't know.
Sister Goop,
yes.
Tell me more.
Explain me more.
He doesn't know. Okay, so you. Oh, now my dogs are going. 1 second. Can we figure out live, please? Here, thank you very much. Thank you. Okay. So you've been haunted.
So like my story that I know most that I question was in Guam. I had a buddy that I was in the military with, and he was Okinawan, and he. Oh yeah. She's talking about the yeah. Across from yeah. It's Guam. That's Guam. So, he was Okinawan. He had some sort of major gut problem, and he almost died. And his like mom or grandma or somebody, old Okinawan, whatever, like did some sort of voodoo shit over him, right? And so ever since then, he's been like followed, is what he says. And like everybody's been around him has like kind of experienced something. So like I was in Guam. There's I think four or five of us in a room. Air Force, we're like it's almost 5-star. Not really, but it's close. 4 or 5 of us in the room. I was laying down. I think I was just getting ready to go to the gym or something like that. So I was taking a nap, and I was laying on my stomach, and my legs just kind of like lift up off the ground. And I turned around. I was like, I thought it was Tap. One of my buddies. I was like, what is he doing? But I saw like an image in the doorway. Doc, shut up. And I saw an image in the doorway, and it looked like big flat hat, big, they call him the Hat Man or some shit like that, and took up the whole doorway, and I was just kind of like sitting there for a second, like, all right, what did I see? Did I really see that? Was it a shadow? Kind of just like played it off. I was like, it went the wrong way when it left the doorway, and I was like, well, ain't nobody over there, and ain't no door over there, But then, hold on a second.
Okay, it's okay.
Where's that?
For everyone watching right now, we're figuring out our life with all the doggos. Hey, and then my puppy is walking to the other puppies. Oh, yes.
Oh,
It's so exciting.
the little ones do not like it when the other ones have a bone and they don't, so they just sit there and bark at them. So I took all the bones away. Nobody gets
Fair.
bones now. Good job.
No, nobody gets bones.
So, my buddy came in. He's a Rhode Islander, got that hard accent or whatever, right? And came in, and I was like, you lift my feet up? And he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. I was like, come on now. Somebody came in, lift my feet up, and he was like, no, nobody's down here. And I was like, well, the guy looked like he had like a, like an Undertaker hat on, and he was like, hold on. He's like, stop right there. Well, he's like, let's go upstairs. So we went upstairs, and we went up to talk to Kidder, which is the Okinawan kid or whatever. And Skiano, Skeet is what we called him. He said, hey, what's that guy that look like that follows you around? He was like, oh, you're talking about the guy with the big hat, the big black hat. And he's like, looks like a silhouette. I was like, all right then. It's like, you said exactly the thing that I saw. And then a few days later, so I put cameras up in the room to like watch shit. Like after that, I was like, I'm gonna catch this son of a bitch. Never did, but I did put a camera on in the room and not facing the right direction. But one morning I was getting ready to like make all my pre-workout shit, like my creatine and my protein and all that stuff, and the everything off the top of the fridge just flew off the top. I literally was just eating breakfast. I just stood up. I walked out of the room. I went upstairs. And I just sat down. I was like, and they're like, what are you doing up here? I was like, nothing, man. Like, shit's going crazy down there. So I put a camera on that fridge for a long time and never got anything. But I mean, it was like, none of it made sense because too much stuff came off the roof of it, the top of the fridge. I thought maybe it like the compressor kicked on and shook it off or something. It all came off. So.
What's your theory?
I don't know, earthquake. I don't know.
You still try to rationalize it?
Until I'm like violently attacked, it'll probably be very hard for me to think it's real.
Are you religious?
Yeah. I have my theories, my religion.
Christian God or okay. So you said you were in Guam and it was your homeboy that got like cursed.
Yeah.
And so like to me it sounds like, I don't know, Papa Legba or something. I think he has a big head. Oh, everyone, we're rich and hydrated. Everyone, anytime and every time anyone says rich and hydrated, are you mountain
That's right. Had a whole liter right there. Whole liter.
Oh my God. What even is a liter?
That.
Oh my God. No, what's the kilometer? It's the American one, right? Like, what's the liter? What even is a liter?
I don't know what it is. It's an amount of liquid.
Oh my God. Okay. So no. So are you still skeptic like now in hindsight? Like you go by like, oh, it was an earthquake. It was the fridge or.
Yeah. But only because your mind can play tricks on you. Things can happen, and you search for like some rational explanation or whatever. I mean, like I said, until I'm like truly like attacked, I guess. I'm open to being attacked. Like I'm absolutely fine for it. Like I have done a Ouija board in a room by myself in hopes that something would happen to be able to prove it. But
Christianity acknowledges demons.
Yes, but I have my own theory on that as well as to why you can't experience some things.
Give it to
So,
me. Give me your
well,
theory.
if you can prove without a doubt the existence of demons, right? Say one appears behind me right now and chokes me out, right? And you watch it happen. All these people watch it happen. They're like, "Holy shit, that was legit. Like that dude just got choked to death by a fucking demon, right?" Now your faith is not required. You just saw it. You saw one.
It
You
becomes
saw one. The
knowledge.
latter exists, right? So
Mhm.
you don't have to have faith anymore. You know it's real. So I think that if you were to actually be able to physically see something, it would remove something that you are required to have, which is faith, in order to,
Mhm.
I mean, it's kind of like a dumb thing, but it's like I just don't think that you'll ever see it because of that exact scenario, because it gives you too much, um, evidence.
Mhm. Yeah. Because faith and belief is necessary for the untangible. Once it becomes tangible, it becomes
Yeah.
knowledge.
And you can say that there already
And
is
then,
knowledge because you can look around the things, the world, the way it exists. I mean,
sure.
there's people who will say, "Well, that's the evidence." Well, I mean, but people can come up with bullshit reasons why that's there as well, right? So, but if you,
Mhm.
truly saw something from another world do something to somebody, I would assume you've got a little more evidence.
So what would it take for you to officially be, I don't want to say converted because that's not the language I want to use, but like to believe that it's real, like physically a physical attack, like you would
Yeah,
physically
yeah,
feel it?
yeah. Leaf marks.
But I mean, we don't feel Wi-Fi either, and
You
it's still
can
real.
cook that shit up high enough, get you some really high.
So fucking stupid.
I've had RF fry my eyeballs before, dry them suckers out. Somebody pumping freaking RF straight into my face on the B-52. Plenty of times.
Oh
Oh yeah.
no. When
Oh,
was
when I was in the
this?
military, I had a buddy I was taking a radome off on a transmitter, and the guy inside was just pressing test over and over again. And I talked to my buddy, and I was like, "Are your eyes dry, dude? Like, my mouth is dry." And he was like, we found out the guy was just like straight, just blasting us with, yeah.
Why do y'all military people have like the fucking weirdest
Uh, it
stories,
was
the
weird. So like,
wildest stories?
I was considered ECM, electronic countermeasures, right? So I worked on the systems that were like, on the B-52, because it's a big fat flying fucking hog, right? You can't hide it, so your whole game is to, monitor, jam, and deceive anything that tries to pick you up, right? So I worked on those systems, and they had a lot of, in a lot of scenarios, if you are going to try and take out an enemy radar, you have to have more power than that radar to, to overwhelm it, basically, right? In some of the, depends on which kind of way you, barrage jamming, or, then there's actual smart shit too. But so those systems, because of those systems and their power, we were supposed to put cones around the airplane, right? And like nobody ever fucking did that. So like basically anybody that ran up to the airplane, they saw Bomber 7 in front of the aircraft, they would literally like hold their junk in their eyes, and they would like run to the aircraft because they didn't want to get their balls radiated off. But it's it is what it is. We were blasting people all the time.
Yeah. Okay. We were just blasting people. That's gonna be the fucking title of this podcast. We were just blasting
Yeah,
people
pretty
all the
much.
time. What what do you as an ex-military right now think about the normies and the civilians wearing
No,
camo?
it doesn't matter to me. No, whatever.
It doesn't
M81's
matter.
the best. So,
We can
oh yeah,
LARP.
everybody can LARP. It don't matter. It's all for fun.
If there was to be made a book about you or a book series,
There's not enough.
wait. What would the current chapter be called? And what's the
I don't know.
theme?
So
What's the
you want
summary of the
Homestead?
chapter?
Question mark. Should you?
Did did you have homestead experience prior?
No, I mean, I guess my background's kind of weird. Like, I'm pretty much a nerd, but like, I grew up in the, I
You
grew up
sound
in the
like a nerd.
country, and pretty white trash, to be honest. So I mean, like, I was raised to learn everything. So I've never been afraid to go and like try and figure something out. So like homesteading doesn't like concern me. It's like, okay, yeah, you gotta go build shit. Okay, go build shit. Oh, you gotta raise animals. Okay, well, raise them. I mean, like,
I want to posit the white trash. So, like 50% of the listeners to this podcast are from, you know, the failing state, aka
mm.
Europe. So they have no idea what white trash is. How would you describe it?
Mm.
Or how would you describe your living situation that you came from?
Oh man, we had a good. Well, I mean, we've been poor, and we we eventually were well off. Not well off. We were upper middle class probably a little bit at the end there, but it was not for hard work though. I mean, it was my parents, they were both barely high school to be honest. They owned their own businesses, so they did a lot of work to get where they were. Um, but like my uh, grandparents, I grew up with like my great grandma just being around just as much as most people's grandmas, right? So like, and they lived off the land. I mean, we snapped green beans as kids and made our own jam. I mean, that's what I mean. When we went to eat at the table, they just threw a sheet over the meal, and when we came back for later, we took the sheet off and we ate the same shit that was on the table earlier. We didn't put it in the fridge or nothing. I mean, it was straight up like just pull the sheet off and eat it. So I mean, poor is in that is like, but I guess white trash is, I don't know, maybe a mindset. I don't know how to exactly explain white trash. It's not like trailer trash. But I did
Right,
live in
because
a
I
trailer
think
at
it
one
gets
point. But
confused.
like, I wouldn't say I'm trailer trash because I wasn't there forever. But
I think they get confused though. Like I think that most people, because like if you're not familiar with America,
yeah,
just in general, even Americans, right? City people, when they think white trash, they think trailer,
yeah,
they think, they think Ruth of Ozark, who doesn't know shit about
yeah.
fuck.
But you got like hillbillies, you got rednecks, white trash. I guess white trash is kind of like a blend of them. But like, yeah, like my sister's just put in there. Yeah, filling up a truck bed full of water and riding it down the road. I mean, that's white trash to me. That's pretty white trash.
I love that. Yeah, you for sure. Like you have redneck, hillbilly, country boy,
Yeah,
white
country boy's
trash,
one of
trailer
those also.
trash, cowboy,
Yeah.
all different. Using a four-wheeler to pull a truck hood to ride in the snow. Oh my god, so good. That's
White
so
trash
good.
people are ingenuity. We figure shit out because we have
Yeah, it's like, yeah, y'all remind me the most of East
to.
Europeans.
Probably,
They're
probably.
like, God
Yeah.
grit. We don't have anything.
Yep.
Make it
Yep.
work
Yep.
anyway.
Yep. Just Russian videos. Those are white trash people. They're white trash.
Right. A property full of
Yeah.
broken cars because you might
Yep.
use that one thing in it
That's
one
white
day.
trash. That's white trash. That's pretty white. That's pretty white trash.
I was so traumatized when I came to America, and I'm like, I'm so over East Europe and like having 40
Yeah.
cars on our property because like
You
there's
come
this
right
one
back
like
into it.
carburetor, and now I'm here and I'm like straight in.
Yeah. Yeah. Some of them drive still. Some of them ain't got tires on them. Some of them do. Some of them ain't got engines because you use that for another one. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Right. I go like, can we throw this away? No, because and then like you get the washing list of like this one screw that's in there that I might need for a bed later.
We
And
got a
it's
lot of
like,
cars
okay,
back
I'm like,
home.
I'm yeah, just for the stuff. Oh my god, so good. Um, do you okay? What homestead life? Because always homestead life. You know how the people like homesteading is in right now,
I
right?
think people our age are into it because they saw. I don't know. I think they're kind of waking up to this like 9 to 5 bullshit. Like what am I doing? What am I going in? Like um, if you homestead, you're not. I mean, okay, I see. People. I joke about being retired, right? But like not really retired. You work harder, and but it's for yourself. So everything you put into it is, you gain it back. Like whereas where I worked all my life before, every ounce of time I put into it was for somebody else. I mean, of course I was paid, right? But I have made companies millions of dollars. I've never made myself millions of dollars, right? So I was always like, what am I doing here? But, but then again, like COVID really, when it destroyed my career that I'd worked so hard for, I was kind of like, fuck it, what are you doing? Let's just go do something else. It's just whatever. You've got nothing to lose. Let's go do some other shit.
What kind of keep it however abstract you want, but what kind of career did you have prior to COVID? What did COVID do to it, and how did that transition you into the fucking hardcore lifestyle you
So
have right now?
when I got out of the military, I went back to school and did some more electronic courses. Was kind of debating back going to be electrician or going into like more technical field. Um, I got a call. I put out, while I was going to school, I put out like, offers to, or, resumes to like, places. And my father-in-law at the time worked up in Indianapolis and was like, well, I mean, why don't you try and get on at Raytheon, And I was like, well, I can't imagine Raytheon hiring me, right out of it. But um, there was a department that was being stood up for like depot maintenance. It was like really like kind of like one-off things, and they needed a bunch of new people. And they were like, well, I mean, whatever. The average age in that building was probably 55, 60. So when I went in there in my 20s, it was like I was the youngest person in the damn building. But the benefit of that was you got to go in there and you got to learn from all these people that have been doing. Because when you get into like electronics, you get into like digital or logic kind of control, circuits, or then you get into RF, and RF is kind of like black magic to people, right? So I got to learn from really experienced people in that realm, and because of my willingness to work, I kind of worked my way up in the ranks at Raytheon. Uh, I went to my boss. I told him there was a position opening up that was like more like a supervisory role. I wanted it. I told him, I said, I want this role. Um, and I told them that they have, I think I gave them like 8 months to decide whether they put me in it or not. And I think they tried to call my bluff, and I left. Went and got a job at Crane Naval Base down in southern Indiana, and doing basically the same thing, doing contract work, soldering, micro soldering, things like that, testing sonar equipment, whatever, right? Just random crap. And then the same guy that was my boss that was mad the boss above my boss was mad that I left because they should have given me the position. He didn't know about it until I was already gone. He called me and said, "Hey, do you still live down there? Because we just won a like $56 million contract down there, and we'd like you to be the supervisor for it or whatever." And I was like, "Yeah, I do." And I was just said, it comes with stipulations. So basically did that, and so I became a supervisor from like I went from electrical engineer at up in Indianapolis to basically like a program manager kind of thing at the Crane Naval Base on that contract for refurbishing radars for the aircraft carriers, the SPS 48, 49, 67, all these weird whatever radars. And during that time, COVID happened, right? And I had about 30 to 35 people that worked for me on and off, depending on which department, because there was other departments that probably really wasn't over, but they came to me for questions and shit. But during that time, COVID happened. We kind of went along with the rules, checking people's temperatures, putting masks on, whatever. But then we were like, okay, well, everybody's areas are so spread out. You don't got to wear your mask. Just wear your mask into the building. When you go to your work area, don't wear your mask, whatever. But then, like, every once in a while, I'd get stupid, hardcore. Somebody'd be, some upper management person would get mad. And then I was in these meetings across the country because I was considered a site lead for that area. So I was in the meetings across, like, everywhere. And I was in meetings talking bad about people not getting vaccinated, and I'm sitting here like, I'm not vaccinated. Nobody. Am I the only site lead that's not vaccinated? And they kept talking crap, and I jumped in with them. I'm like, yeah, fuck those unvaccinated people, and just whatever, right? And eventually, it came down like, hey, you're going to get vaccinated, or you're going to leave, or you need to go and get a religious exemption. And I a lot of people went the religious exemption route. I thought that was stupid because I shouldn't have to have an exemption to say no to something. So I didn't do one. They begged me to put one in, and my religious exemption said was my religion is I'm American and I don't have to, and they denied it
Woo!
pretty quickly. um, and they then my boss had the VP of IIS at that time, Bob, what is his name? I can't remember his name. He was the VP of the IIS branch of Raytheon before they merged with I think RIS or whatever. Um, he called me. He was an old general out of the military, whatever, and he gave me a talk like, hey, everybody talks really highly of you. We'd like to keep you on. What if we just what if you just stayed and we just didn't ask you to do it or whatever? And I was like, well, does everybody else get that same deal? Like, do all the people that work underneath me get that same deal? Why am I special? Why do I get something that they don't get? And he was like, well, he's like, son, I've been around for a long time. This is not a hill to die on, And I was like, well, sorry, but you're mistaken. This is exactly what your role is for setting an example, and you're not doing that. So you've forgotten what a hill to die on is. And so that day I sat down and I wrote my resignation saying that, this company disgusts me and the way they treat people, and I sent it out to the VP and all these people, and because all my employees kept coming to me all the time going, hey, am I going to lose my job? Hey, am I going to lose my job? Man, I can't lose my job. I can't lose my job. I'm like, I need to show these people that you can just walk away. Don't be afraid of it. Just do it. I know some people live paycheck to paycheck. That happens, but which is one of the reasons why you should be prepared to be able to get away from these kind of scenarios. But I showed them that even a person in my role with, making the money I was can just, with no plans, walk away. And I did. And I went and worked for a small machine shop doing aerospace machining, running mainly like black projects or whatever that they had on their books or whatever. But I did that for about a year or two before I did this.
So you don't, am I understanding correctly that outside of homesteading, like homesteading is your income as well?
Yeah. I don't make any money. The t-shirt business is going to be what's going to eventually kind of make pay the bills or whatever slightly, but then I'll obviously, as I get things going in the homestead world, I'll sell eggs, sell chickens, whatever, right? I'll do stuff, do side jobs if I have to. The wife, she still wanted to work, so she works still, but I've tried to get her to quit, but whatever, I'll get her to quit eventually. But she's one of those people that had her own career, and she enjoys working. So, but we don't really. We were able to come down here and save enough money to be debt free, so we really don't need a lot of money to do what we're doing. It does not. Once you're debt free, it does not cost very much money to live. It's very, very cheap. You make it cost money. It does not cost money to live. You make it cost money to live.
Right. What I'm seeing right now online is like these two waves. So it's like the commies who are like, I just want to live off the land. I just want to frolic in the grass. Right. And then you have the rich and hydrated, everyone hydrate. And then you have the people who are like, okay, the system is not to be trusted. The way everything flows in regards to food distribution, etc., and that can fall apart every time. I want to be self-sustainable, and they go into homesteading. And I just want to shed some light. So I'm not as cool as you. Like, I live on a homestead. We have like all the animals, but I have a digital job next to it, right? So that's where my income comes from. That's why we can be like, okay, I'll just hire people for the yard or stuff, because it's never fucking ending. It's never ending. It's no chill. It's no relax. It's no sleeping in. What does your day look like? Generally.
I wake up and I go let the dogs out and go let the chickens out first thing is pretty much what I do. So chickens free range pretty well. They don't really, take too much. They're getting to the point now where they kind of go everywhere. But basically it's just working on stuff like cutting up trees. I've got a lot of projects in my head that I need to do because I need to build a smokehouse for being able to smoke any kind of deer or things like that on the property. which is why I've been cutting up hickory trees, because I'm going to take all that hickory wood and set it aside so it can get ready to be able to use for smoking. But basically, it's just building the structures, because really a lot of your cost in anything is labor nowadays. The materials of cost is nothing. So whenever the wife was like she wanted to work, I was like, well, I mean that's fine, because I'll sit with the money we'll save with me building stuff will be better than me making a job around here, because we chose a location that was probably not job friendly. I mean, you could drive an hour and a half, maybe a little bit further, and get to Little Rock possibly. And so you if you had to. So I drove an hour and a half for my last job because I had to, because I quit because of COVID or whatever, right? So I was used to it. But do you really want to do that? No. But if I had to, if things got bad, obviously you can go get a job, right? Go get a job. I go find somebody. There's ranches everywhere around here. Go do some ranch shit or whatever, right? Doesn't matter. I don't. Nothing's beneath me. I'll work on whatever. Um, but until then, we're trying to see what we can do and get everything up and running as best we can. Um, then the goal is obviously being able to make some sort of money off of it that you can pay your typical bills with, your power or whatever. You know, don't have a water bill, but power bill, electric, internet.
Are y'all off? So you're not completely
No,
off
no, no,
grid.
no, no. The power was close enough to the property that I went ahead and ran it. And plus, I'm going to need that for the T-shirt thing, anyways, because I'm not going to be able. I mean, I can't imagine running all that stuff off of. So I mean, I guess you can. You can probably run off solar, but
You got water on the
a
property,
spring.
right?
I just have a spring. Yeah, that I.
Can you make a hydro pump? I don't know.
Uh,
Hydro electro pump. I always
there's
butcher the word.
ways to do it, but I don't know how functional it would be, and it would be more
Mm.
like a wet season kind of thing, not really a right
Mm.
now in
Mm-hmm.
the
Mm-hmm.
dry season it's not going to be as good, obviously, but
Gotcha. 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 So let's do a little time traveling. So 3 years from now, how has the homestead expanded? It, again, I know if everything goes your way.
well, a house will be built by then. So, and then
Hmm.
I think she said she kind of wanted that to be off grid if possible. So I'll probably try and make it off grid. It'd take quite a bit of trees to
Hmm.
get cut down to be able to do that. But solar on a small scale works really well. Solar on a big scale is bullshit, but small scale it works really,
Yeah.
really well. Um,
Hmm.
so we could do that, but it is positioned enough that I can always hook it up to the power if I have to. But that'd be the main thing. In 3 years, I'd like to have most of the animals we want. Not nothing big. We don't have pasture for anything large, but we want lots of goats to be able to help clear and keep the land clean. I need more chickens. I need hundreds of chickens. Um, but so I'll have to build multiple coops, throughout the property or whatever. And then the house. That'd be like my 3 year goal would be to have definitely all that kind of up and running. Hopefully her quit, by then too, maybe. So
How many chickens you got now?
24.
How are you keeping them from not being killed? Like we have like a chicken killer here around, so I keep going from 70 to like 10.
So um, the hawk killed the first one. I built them the little run. They've become self-aware at that, and they realize to start checking stuff out. Um, the bear uh, taught them to run and hide places pretty well too. So they they've gotten really good at just watching out now. And then the roosters are getting bigger now, so they're kind of like talking a lot. So yeah, they're starting to kind of try and protect the hens as best they can. So they got so much cover, I guess, from all the bush and the trees that they don't have most predators. I don't know why we haven't seen like coyote. I mean, I got a gray fox that's just right down the coop, not too far from where the coop would be, because he comes out if I call him immediately. But I haven't seen him come. I have a trail camera that watches the coop, so I don't know. I don't know. We had one timber rattlesnake, in there with them, but other than that, I don't know. Just lucky, I guess. I have free range chickens in my last place, and it was phenomenal. I mean, the only thing I ever had, wild dogs was the worst thing I ever had. Wild dogs will just kill so much crap. Raccoon,
What are wild
just
dogs?
dogs that are loose that nobody owns and just roam
Oh
around.
shit,
Yep,
really?
those are usually the worst because they just kind of do whatever, and nobody kills them because they're dogs. So
Oh, that will get the dog shot
yeah, I
shot here.
mean,
So
a
we had
lot
a
of people will
situation
kill them, but
here.
like a lot of people won't kill them, because
Right.
it's a dog. It's easier to shoot probably a coyote for a lot of people than it is for something that will wag its tail when it comes to you.
Oh my god, it's true. We had I'm telling everybody about the reality of very, because we're in Northern California, and people and everyone hates California, including us. But we're like, we're not California. We are too
Yeah.
redneck here, and like this area got quite some fame after some fucking city slickers moved in with their pit bulls, and their pit bulls would keep hunting the chickens and the livestock of the neighbor, and the neighbor was, good neighbor, like, hey, I know y'all new here, but your pit bulls cannot keep eating our food and our animals, and owners didn't do shit, so they shot him and hung
Mm.
him at the town, like the
Oh
welcome to.
wow.
um and,
Yeah, that'll do
and
it.
since then there's never been dog
Yeah, that'll do it.
situations.
Usually it's shoot, shovel, and shut up, but
The
yeah.
triple S. No, these people were out there to send a
Well, I
message.
think in a lot of states, I don't know about California. A lot of states are allowed to defend your livestock. Generally, I don't get enjoyment out of killing an animal. So
No.
well, I guess I probably enjoy killing a hog, but just a wild hog, just because they're just nasty bastards and they're ruining everything. But um, I generally do everything I can not to have to shoot an animal. And then I will basically leave it up to it whether it decides to listen to me or not. So
We're lucky. Like the sheriff that we have, and I have to always be cautious not to dox myself, to not say his name. But the sheriff is very much like, because there were a bunch of burglars here, and everyone knew who they were. But again, we live 2 hours from a town each
yeah,
direction, so like nothing's happening, right? And then once the sheriff got a hold of like what's going on, he was like, if you have a mini X, you fucking take
yeah,
care of this.
just dig a hole and cover it back up.
So it's like a lawless, like proper rural life is lawless. It's not like
Yeah.
Yellowstone, but
Well, I mean, a good sheriff in a county. If you should always try and know your sheriff in a county because generally you'll find out like, okay, yeah, this guy doesn't care. Uh,
well, yeah. And the sheriff here, he was like, I wasn't here during COVID yet. I was still in Europe, but um when California did all its like wild regulation, like you cannot go to public parks, the sheriff was like, we're not enforcing none of that
yeah, yeah, yeah,
bullshit.
yeah, yeah.
And which he got a lot of slack for, and he stood well, like backbone and all. So I'm like, fuck
It
yeah.
really didn't change too much in Indiana where I was at, but I was in a very Amish area, so I mean, really, nobody. I mean, people would wear. You see some people wearing masks, like you could walk in a store even at like almost the height because nobody was going to them anyways. I don't know. I mean, it's kind of weird. Is it storm and tug? My little dog does not like storms. I think he hears thunder.
No, the baby. Wow, everyone had such a different COVID experience. For us in Europe, we had like the curfews, and we had to have a form signed by the government that allowed us to walk outside to the grocery
Oh,
store. I'm like, y'all, I was born during while the communists were still leading. Then we had like 10 years of glory. Now I'm dealing with this shit. I'm like,
yeah.
fuck that, I'm out.
I think the day that they started talking about it, I was given a letter saying that your I guess I don't remember what they called it. Too important. You're going to go to work no matter what. There, there was no. We're going to shut down the radar restoration program. That was never going to happen. That was no. And we all got letters saying, just show this to anybody that pulls you over. You're going to work.
That's fucking wild though. Here, show this
Yep.
letter that you may go to
Yep.
work. Like it's, oh
Yeah.
my god.
Yeah. I think the problem is it was a very radicalizing moment, and people got radicalized, and now they've become comfortable again. They've kind of gone, oh, whatever. No, you need to remember exactly what happened back then because everybody showed you who they were. They told you they hated you. If they were given the option to shoot you and drop you into a ditch, they would have
They
done it.
would.
So that's why it makes me so angry when people are like they forget how these people were treating people. I mean, they were treating treating you like they would let you die in the ditch, and they'd be better off for it because you were going to kill
Yeah.
grandma, for something that she had a vaccine for that she should have been protected for. Whatever.
And how they were all using the same
Oh yeah,
phrasing. You are responsible for grandma
yeah,
dying. And this, and again, I speak 9 languages, right? And every language had
yeah.
that same phrase.
While
Every
they sit
language.
there and let them die in a hospital while you're not allowed to go and visit them. Yeah.
I'm still bitter about that. I'm gonna keep it real. I'm
People
still
should
fucking
remain
bitter.
bitter about it because you are owed a blood debt for that.
Yeah. I'm not I'm getting married next year. None of the vaccine people are allowed to come to my wedding. They're out of my
Yeah,
inner
they're
circle at
not your
all, but
people
they're like,
anymore.
"Can we come?" Nope.
Yeah, they're not. Yeah,
Nope.
you need to be unvaccinated, or you need to be unvaccinated to come to my wedding. There you go. Give
Word.
them the same thing that they gave everybody else to go to their weddings.
Fucking yeah. Again, I'm getting all angry, fucking bitter
It was
about
years
this.
ago too, right? Years ago. A lot of people never felt the effect though. A lot of people did not get directly affected. They did not have something that directly did anything to them, right? So a lot of people kind of just shrug it off. But like, then you had certain people that straight up did have something happen to them purely because of that event. You know, like if I probably wouldn't have been as bitter as I am if I kind of just skated by it. And I guess I could have skated by it, but morally, I was like, no, you can't give me an advantage over another person just because I'm the boss. Like that's stupid. That's ridiculous. Who am I to be better than that person? The guy that turns the wrench, he's better than me. I'm just the guy that has the numbers. I'm like, oh yeah, this is what system we're working on. We're going to be done by this week. It's like I'm not. My role is very not important compared to the guys turning the wrench, and that is a huge monster management problem in a lot of businesses. Is they have no understanding that they're what did we call it? Um, Management to touch ratio. So like Raytheon's for every person touching an item that was actually like performing value added work, right? So if you have like your Lean, Six Sigma, 6S stuff, value added is does it change the product in a way that uh, the customer would put money on, right? Will the customer pay for what you are doing to it, right? Management is not value added. It has no value to the item because it's not physically changing or doing anything to the item. Raytheon's rate of people touching an item to managing an item was like 3-to-1. For every one person touching something, there was 3 people managing that person, and that's ridiculous. There should be never. There's no reason. So that's why all these government contracts are so fat heavy. They've got huge amounts of people being paid to rattle off pages and numbers, and it's like no, it's like let's go hire more people, let's get some more small businesses are the backbone of the government contracting industry. Every one of these big guys lets everything they do almost go down to the little ones. Now the big guys maybe assemble the product and build the product in the end, but the little guys across the country are the ones building it. So but yeah, management is a huge thing that I always try to teach. But see, I tried to treat people how I would want to be managed if I was going to be managed by people or whatever. So I treated them differently. Like whenever I first went to the how hard is it to go to a new job and be the boss of somebody that is older than you and been working on the system longer than you? So the first thing you do is you keep your fucking mouth shut. You go to that guy and you go, hey, can I sit here and you teach me this? So I actually, when I got in, I went and sat down at every system and I built the system with every one of the guys on the floor, so that when I was asked a question, I did not look stupid. I could answer it in meetings because I knew how to build the system. I knew what the system was. I knew where bolts went. I knew what the torque specs were. I knew how to build the system. So when the guy on the floor tells me he's got this problem, I know what that problem is because I was there when we were trying to beat the thing into the freaking part last time, right? So if you when you in order to be a good manager, in my opinion, I think understanding the roles below you is extremely critical. So that's why I think I took it to heart whenever the guys started coming to me and worried about losing their job, because I was like, I was friends with this guy. I mean, yeah, don't be friends with you. It's just your job. Yeah, no, bullshit. You're friends with people you work with. That's just how it is. Everybody has friends that they work with. It's like, you don't just, they're not just strangers. You know, if you treat people like that, you're a piece of shit anyway. So just get the fuck out of there. You know, nobody wants to work with you. That's why nobody likes you. Yeah.
Right?
Oh, I hate work. Everybody's an asshole. Yeah, because you're a fucking asshole. Nobody likes. Nobody wants to be around you.
You're the common
Yeah.
denominator. I also fuck yeah for the passion about like small business. Like there was a whole different tone right now in you, and then like a whole different fire coming out of you. I'm here for it. Hey, Allegiance, I hope I pronounce it correctly. Sorry, I'm an immigrant. Allegiance Project Foundation says comfort is a slow death. Ask X9, how do we wake people from the deep sleep of convenience?
I don't know that we can wake them up. You would have thought COVID would have done that. But see, like, let's see. So why have we not attacked the government, the U.S. government? Why have the people not taken out politicians? Because they're comfortable. Because yes, you hate them, but right now you're comfortable. Okay, so then what about somebody that's not comfortable? Why don't they do it? Okay, well, you know, they'll stop the one guy, right? They'll stop the one guy. They'll track him down, whatever, right? You know, then you'll hear about it in the news, some shit. He was a radical. He's gonna go blow himself, whatever, right? Some stupid shit, right? Um, until people are uncomfortable in mass, I don't know that you'll ever wake people up because they, you know, um, they have. I mean, man, I just can't. COVID didn't even do it. Now, you know, COVID was wild because you always think back like, how did people get mad at each other in the Civil War? You know, like how did a brother go after a brother? And it's like, oh shit, COVID. Like that was day one. Your neighbor was really willing to turn you in. Like, hey, here he is, come get him. You know, like so. You know, it can happen, but I think as long as the political status quo stays the same, you know, where we get mad at the right, so then we vote left, and we get mad at the left, and we vote right. We just keep doing it over and over again, lockstep. You know, same shoes on the same body. Um, until they do something where they've really jacked it up, and I think you have to rapidly go into an uncomfortable stage. I don't think because they can slow walk us into where we're like walking on the cattle cars. I mean, at the end of the day, I think that's they can do that if they do it slow enough. Um, will they? I don't know. I mean, the American spirit is pretty radical, though. I mean, there people are. I mean, the land thing going on with Braxton McCoy and them right now. That is a pretty good eye opener too, because people are pissed, and it's not just the right, it's not just the left, it's a wide range of people. So events like that, I think that's the politicians trying to take something from you, and they're gauging. Oh shit, I can't do that one yet. Hold on, back it up. They're not. Yeah, that's we can't do that one yet. You know, they won't give us the land yet. You know, so I think they're constantly testing what they can get away with. So as long as we have like a diehard set like of people that are um, willing to fight for something like that, I think it's gonna be a slow walk. I can't think of a good scenario that would really wake people up. Um, I mean, it had to be like a widespread power outage. I mean, what is it like nine meals from anarchy, 3 days of no food, and neighbors are going to start killing each other for food. So I mean, that would probably be the best way is power, is like a nationwide power outage somehow, or localized. It could be localized. It could be localized events, but I don't know how else they would wake
Well,
them
so
up.
so for one, I don't think we can wake up people. I think if I look at like rich and hydrated, everyone hydrate. Mountain Dew is
Water
hydration too.
says right here somewhere.
um, right, there's somewhere water in it.
It's liquid, so it's water.
I think there's two parts to. For one, the desire to wanting to wake people up is like a lost cause anyway, right? Because it puts you in a like parental authority where you allegedly know better than the other person, and treating them like we need to wake everyone up. I think the ones who are awoken will always be the
Yeah,
outliers, and they will be flexible, even painful, but they will be flexible, adapt
yeah,
regardless of how shitty the circumstances go. Um, and I also think that a lot of people, so the land thing right now is a really great example. And don't get me wrong, I always make fun of the bandwagons online, and I love that everyone has opinions, but the opinions itself don't do
yeah.
anything, right? Like everyone's like angry typing, this is
Making retarded
ridiculous.
videos of people.
Okay, and then what?
Yeah.
So I feel like we're at a loss when it comes to a direct path to what could actually elicit, change or stop things, or because it's not just yelling online.
I think the land grab would turn into a kinetic event if they did push it. I think people would actually go there and camp out that site and fight. I genuinely think people would actually at that level.
Like the
Yep,
Bundys.
I believe that event would exactly
Okay.
unfold not like they want now, unless they want it to unfold that way for some sort of thing I'm not looking at. I mean, that's always that too. Oh, look, they are radicals. Let's round them all up. That's also why people,
What?
don't want the government to have, like the FBI and all these people have all this power all the times because they don't want you to be able to
Yeah.
be like, no, you can't come round me up. Taking a person one at a time is
It
easy to do.
right. It's so it's so before, like when I was outside of America, I had never like I didn't know about the Bundy. I didn't know about I suck at names. Um the guy who his wife and the baby got shot. Help me. It's the famous image. Her in a white dress holding a
Oh,
baby.
the Waco.
Thank you. Like I had no idea. But then when I started Googling like from Europe, like all the stories are that they are the bad people.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Like the Bundys are the bad people, the Waco people are the bad people. And I'm like, the desire for people in the modern West specifically to be like, govern me harder,
yeah,
daddy, is such a, oh, it's like a virus
yeah,
deep in.
yeah,
Allegiant says, because until then, people won't take community safety or even their own seriously. We're willing to trade temporary comforts for actively living. Yes. And I do think, and you touched on that previously, like if you would go 15 years ago here in America and say what the political environment would have been like right now, everyone would be like, oh, hell no, that ain't fucking
yeah,
happening, right? But it's constantly happening step by step by step by step by
yeah.
step.
That's the slow
Um,
march to your death, basically. Yeah, I mean, I think I do think people are taking community a little bit more seriously. I think it's on a small scale, though. I think like the guy that was out here doing my dirt work the other day, he was like, "Well, I live just 13 miles down the road." He's like, "You need to come out sometime." He's like, "We got a little community of people out there. We're doing stuff, whatever." Because he saw what I was doing. He then, had the insight to go, "Okay, this is a guy that's, you know, let me make friends with this guy." So which is what you have to do sometimes. You have to kind of like gauge people, like, oh, is this a person that I can, trust? And a lot of people don't have very many. You got lots of friends, right? But how many people do you have that is the ride or die kind of friend? And you need at least one or two of those in your life. And you're probably only going to have one or two. I don't. If you say you got 10, you're probably lying because there's not very many people that are ride or die for something. So, um, but yeah, I mean, I think because we have a pretty decent online community, here on Twitter, but the 2A community is also just some of the most toxic shit there is around as well. Though I mean, it's up or down. I mean, there's so many toxic people out there. It's ridiculous. Um, People just want to fight for no reason, or you know, uh, I guess sometimes I'll partake in a little bit of it, but I usually try and bully. I
it's
try and usually
fun.
punch up. I usually don't try and punch down on anybody. I probably punch left though. I'll punch left every once in a while. But I mean, like people like APF, they teach self defense schools for people, and they hire out for defending students at schools, and stuff like that. It's like, how do you get more people into that mindset? I don't know, because a lot of people go take courses, but a lot of people don't have time for it. And people are like, "Oh, you got time for it," but like, no, a lot of people don't. Like a lot of people can't take a vacation just to go to a course. A lot of people don't have land to just go out and shoot either. So they got to go take time to go to a range. So it's getting it to become somebody's priority is kind of a weird thing, because only they can decide what their priority is, um, which is probably gonna be family for most people. But as a male, generally, you should have some sort of thought of how do I defend my family in some form or fashion. So you should have some sort of priority. But I don't. With the way people work 9 to 5, they're tired when they come home. They don't have very many vacation days. Are they going to take that vacation to go shoot? Do some sort of course? Probably not. I don't know how you fix that though, unless it's something local. Um, People are tired. People, to be honest, you need to. That's why I try and push what I'm doing. I don't try and push it. I guess I try and show people you can be retarded. You can go out in the woods. You can buy land. You can figure this out. Are you willing to downgrade your life? Say you don't make a lot of money. Are you willing to? So when the wife and I started saving, we started saving pretty early on. Should have saved a lot more than we did. But once we realized what was happening, we really bunkered down and saved a lot. But are you willing to trade the first 10 years of your marriage for not doing fun stuff? That way you can be debt free and then do fun stuff after, right? So that's kind of what we did. Traded the first 10 years of our marriage for, I say traded, we still went and did stuff, but
Sure. But kind of
I was making
grinding,
enough money.
hustling. Yeah.
I should have been just going out and doing whatever the hell I wanted, right? I was making enough to do that, and I didn't. You'd buy stupid shit with it. You'd be, oh, whatever. Oh, I want to buy a new vehicle or whatever, right? You buy night vision, buy $10,000 night vision, because I had the money to do it. Um, until you can get people to have like a work and at home life balance. I really advocated for trying to change our schedule to 4 10s and 3 days off. It got rejected by upper supervision all the time. But I sat down. I tried to explain to them that the cost benefit to having a guy come in 5 days compared to 4 days. Once he's already here, whenever I bid a job, I bid hourly rate is not 8 hours a day, because you're only getting probably about 5 to 6 hours of work out of that guy a day anyways, because he's talking to friends. He takes an hour to start up the day. It takes an hour to end the day. It is what it is. Everybody knows what do they call it, and it's all bullshit. Nobody works straight through, very rarely. So you'd always bid it like, okay, well, if it's a day, it's only 6 hours or whatever, right? I tried to explain that if you had 4 days, he's only doing it 4 times, not 5 times, so and when you have 3 days off, you're a lot more rested, and you can go take a 3 day vacation, 3 day weekend. Every weekend's a 3 day weekend. That's crazy. I mean, you can do a lot of shit on that. But I really think that until you can get people to have like a really good at home life balance, it's going to be hard to get people to actually spend time doing something that is value to them, unless they're just like autistic and that's what they do. I mean, you have people that go to courses. Havoc on Twitter is really good. He goes to courses all the time, advocates for going to them. I would love to see people do. I mean, one of the courses he likes the most is only an hour and a half. I mean, I haven't even been to it yet, but obviously I've been doing what I'm doing. But yeah, why haven't I been to that? An hour and a half from me, right?
Why haven't you?
I just doing shit out here all the time. But that's the kind of thing. Even now, where I do have time, I don't really have a lot of time, right? I can't just leave the dogs for days on end. But now if the wife was working at home, maybe you could. But I mean, when I go out to visit Agave, I'm only out there for like 3 days at a time, because I don't want to be. She doesn't need to be here by herself in a place where she can shoot, but could she really defend the place?
Sure.
Or if somebody
Absolutely.
came in here, nobody's gonna know you're down here. There's nobody lives on this road but one guy. It's a dangerous scenario if some cracked out person comes down here, and I'm not here. So I think that's gonna be the biggest problem with finding that balance with work life. I don't know how you do it other than start doing like things like that 4 days a week, or I think like PTO at Raytheon at one point maxed out where you have like almost 6-7 weeks of vacation off if you were high enough up. Getting a lot of it, but you have to have 20 years in the business. So you're already 30 years old is halfway dead. You are middle-aged at 30. You are not middle-aged at 50. The lie of retiring in your 60s is a lie. you are all going downhill at that point. I'm sorry if you are 60 and that bothers you, but you're not. That is not retirement age. You should be trying to retire in your 40s and 50s, where you actually have like spunk to still do shit. And lying to people that they need this gigantic retirement fund. No, what you need to do is you need to have some sort of determination to get debt free so that your cost of living is so low you can retire at an earlier age. Even if you didn't homestead, if you were debt free and all you had to do is go collect cans to pay for your bills. I mean,
Do like one day job a
go on
week somewhere.
Facebook,
Like you'll be
go
good.
find somebody that's giving away a free piece of furniture, take it, sand it, paint it, sell it for $100. There you go. You've got your, maybe your internet bill for that month or whatever, right? It doesn't take much. Now, then again, I also don't live in places where you're paying thousands a month for your taxes. That's crazy. When you're moving somewhere, you should be like, what is this? What is this? Is this place poor? Okay, that's where I'm going to go, right? Where's my taxes? I want lowest taxes I can possibly get, because you're always going to have to end up paying those unless the government comes and takes your land from you or whatever, right? So, which is bullshit. That should go away too. But so you don't live an extravagant life is, I guess, what I'd say. I mean,
The thing is that the people who are willing to grind, and like yourself, and I'm the same, I'm willing to do anything. Like we're good. You don't have to explain that to them. And the people who aren't willing to do that, they need the message the most, but they aren't willing to
even
downgrade.
if American Liquor became a multi-million-dollar T-shirt company,
Mhm.
I will not change my lifestyle. I will still be here at my tomb doing
Right,
the same thing.
because you
And
have the
guess where that
grit.
money's going to go? I'm going to make businesses in towns everywhere I can to give more people access to better jobs. I don't give a shit what that job is. I'll start up a machine shop. I don't know. I'll start up a welding shop, start up an auto car shop. I don't care. Put that money back into places so that people can continue to try and get themselves out of the scenario they're in. I don't need it. I don't need the money. I don't know what I would do if I was a multimillionaire or some shit like that. Yeah, I don't know. What would I do with it? I don't do anything. I don't do anything with it. I'm gonna go fly somewhere. I'm gonna go buy a machine gun. I mean, I guess I'll probably do that, but no.
With the MG, the 50
The
MG, what is
M2, the
it?
Modus. I'll probably get that one. That'd be a good cup of coffee in the
Yeah.
morning. Run a belt. But I don't. It's not my life mission is not to just become overly wealthy. I don't. It's probably. I mean, it's good if you can, and you can. But a lot of people you see do that they don't stop. They just keep going. It's like, give yourself a break. You made it. Cool. Retire. Go enjoy it. Stop working.
There's one guy here, several counties over. He's been on the Peter YouTube. He he a multimillionaire. He bought land and just created his home
Yeah, there you go.
village. And everyone's like
Yeah,
off grid. They have their own firefighter system. I'm like, that's fucking
yeah, yeah.
goals.
You could do that.
Like he's smart. Like he put the money and he
It'd be
built a
pretty hard
village.
to. I don't know how you would filter the people to do that. Is this person worth it? You know.
He shares some. I recommend everyone to check that YouTube episode out. Like he shares how like a lot of people, because he let them live for
Mhm.
free on the land, like in the house, that he will build them a house, like a fancy house, AC and everything, and then let them try it out for a
Yeah.
year.
Yeah, I
I'm
guess
like,
that'd be a
that's
way to do it.
epic.
So like say somebody was interested in doing their own homestead, right? And I had bunches of money and I could buy the land and set them up, but I owned it still and I go, okay, prove to me you want this, then you can have it. But until then, it's mine
Hmm.
until you prove that you have the determination or the grit to do this. I mean, um, but you can't really convince people. They have to. It's like if you're a smoker, nobody convinces you to quit smoking. You have to tell yourself. So,
You're a fatty. No one
yeah,
can convince you to go
yeah.
on a
People can
diet.
bully you and get you maybe a little bit motivated, but you eventually have to make the ultimate decision to perform, to do the actual function itself.
Yeah, it's true. Okay. Closing message. Where do we need to what anything you want to talk about, you need to mention that we haven't talked about? Where can people find you? Give me all the good
The only
stuff.
place people can find me is, well, unless you like can find me, right? Twitter. So
And American Lictor is everywhere, right? It's like on the Instagrams, it's on the
yep.
Twitter.
We got an Instagram account for the American Lictor, and then we've got I think we were going to try instead of a YouTube channel. I don't think we have yet, but something like that. Then uh, it's on Twitter. But yeah, my main personal account is only on Twitter. So
I will link everything everywhere below. X9. Thank you. It was a chase to get you here.
hey, the camera worked. It wasn't hot enough that I could wear the
Camera
mask the
work.
whole time.
It was good. The doggos
They're
were
sleeping.
great. Doggos figured out their
Except for this
life.
one.
It's great.
Tug
Oh, hello, you chunky
is
chunky.
scared. He doesn't like
Hello.
storms.
Oh, the baby. Hi, the baby. Thank you so much. I'm gonna close the live now, and everyone follow, like, get comment, get involved, and I swear, follow X9. You'll find yourself be all the time like, what the hell? This is the funniest shit I've ever seen, and then constantly. So,
Yep,
thank you, X9.
it's fun.